Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share with you something that can radically shift your life, your purpose, and your destiny. It's a message that resonates deeply with anyone who has ever felt the weight of stress or found themselves trapped in a cycle of excuses. I want you to imagine a life where stress doesn't hold you back and excuses aren't the walls that block your path. A life where every day is an opportunity to live at your fullest potential without the limitations of fear or doubt. Sounds like a dream, right? But let me tell you, it's not a dream. It's a reality you can step into today. Now, why should you listen to this message? Why should you invest your time right here, right now? Because this isn't just a motivational talk, it's a roadmap. It's the blueprint you need to unlock the life you've been destined for. And if you're ready to stop living in the shadows of stress and excuses, I promise you by the end of this message, you will have the tools to walk into the next chapter of your life empowered, confident, and free from the chains that have held you back. So stick with me, because what I'm about to share can change your life forever. Recognizing and understanding your potential is the foundation of living a life free from stress and excuses. Many of us lie far below what we are truly capable of because we don't fully comprehend the vastness of our own abilities. We often allow circumstances, society, and even our own self-doubt to dictate our limits. But here's the truth: you were created with a unique set of gifts, talents, and abilities that no one else possesses in the same combination. When you fail to understand your potential, you become vulnerable to stress and the habit of making excuses for not stepping into your greatness. The first step in unlocking your potential is a shift in perspective. You must realize that your potential is not something static or predetermined. It's dynamic and ever-expanding, waiting to be tapped into. Many people live their entire lives within the confines of what they believe is possible for them, not realizing that they're only scratching the surface of their true abilities. This limited view of oneself creates stress, especially when life presents challenges that seem too big to overcome. Stress emerges when we feel that our resources, whether internal or external, are insufficient to meet the demands placed on us. However, when you recognize that your potential is vast and limitless, you begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow and expand. Your potential is deeply connected to your purpose. Every one of us has a purpose, a reason for being here that goes beyond mere survival or daily routine. But stress and excuses thrive in environments where purpose is either unclear or misunderstood. If you don't know why you're here or what you're meant to do, you'll constantly find yourself frustrated, overwhelmed, and stressed. You'll make excuses for not moving forward, blaming circumstances, other people, or even bad luck. But once you align with your purpose and understand that your potential is the engine that drives you toward fulfilling that purpose, stress loses its power over you. Excuses begin to fade because you are now moving with intention, and that intention is what propels you forward. A significant aspect of understanding your potential is identifying the mental barriers that keep you from realizing it. Many of us have been conditioned to think small, to believe that we are not capable of achieving great things. These limiting beliefs create a ceiling that we often don't realize is self-imposed. For example, you may believe that success is reserved for a select few, or that certain opportunities are out of your reach because of your background, education, or social standing. These are the mental chains that bind us and keep our potential locked away. Breaking free from these limiting beliefs is crucial to unlocking your potential and living a life without stress or excuses. In addition to mental barriers, there are external pressures that can obscure our potential. Society often places expectations on us that may not align with our true purpose. These pressures can come from family, friends, colleagues, or cultural norms. We might be told to pursue a career path that is deemed more stable or acceptable by societal standards, even if it doesn't align with our passions or talents. When we give in to these external pressures, we are essentially sidelining our potential and setting ourselves up for a life of stress. This stress arises from the tension between what we are doing and what we are truly capable of doing. Understanding your potential means recognizing that you have the power to define your own path, regardless of external expectations. Potential is not something that is realized all at once. It's a continuous process of growth and discovery. Many people become stressed or frustrated when they don't see immediate results in their efforts. They make excuses like, I'm just not good enough, or this isn't for me, when in reality, they haven't given themselves enough time to develop. It's important to understand that unlocking your potential is a journey. It's about making incremental progress each day consistently pushing the boundaries of what you thought was possible for yourself. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to realizing your full potential. Stress often comes from the pressure to perform or meet expectations, whether they are self-imposed or placed on us by others. When you understand your potential, you free yourself from this pressure. You realize that your value is not determined by how quickly you achieve success or how perfectly you perform in every situation. Your potential is not measured by external standards. It is an internal capacity that grows as you continue to challenge yourself and expand your abilities. Understanding this takes the pressure off and allows you to operate from a place of confidence rather than stress. Excuses are often born out of a misunderstanding or underestimation of our potential. We make excuses because we don't believe we are capable of achieving a certain goal or overcoming a specific challenge. But when you understand your potential, you stop making excuses because you realize that you have everything you need to succeed. Your potential equips you with the tools, the creativity, and the resilience to overcome any obstacle. There is no need for excuses when you know that you are fully capable of rising to the occasion. Understanding your potential requires a deep level of self-awareness and introspection. You need to take the time to evaluate your strengths, weaknesses, passions, and talents. What are you naturally good at? What activities or tasks make you feel alive and fulfilled? These are clues to your potential. It's not about comparing yourself to others or trying to fit into a mold. It's about understanding who you are at your core and tapping into that unique combination of abilities and desires. When you fully embrace your potential, stress and excuses become irrelevant because you are now operating from a place of purpose and confidence. In essence, understanding your potential is the key to unlocking a life free from stress and excuses. It's about recognizing that you are capable of far more than you have ever imagined and that your purpose is intricately tied to that potential. When you align your life with this understanding, stress diminishes and excuses fade away, leaving you empowered to pursue your goals with clarity and determination. Mastering your mindset is crucial to overcoming stress and eliminating excuses. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world, and it shapes how you respond to life's challenges. The mind is incredibly powerful, and it can either be your greatest asset or your biggest obstacle, depending on how you manage it. When you master your mindset, you gain control over your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, which in turn reduces stress and eliminates the need for excuses. The process of mastering your mindset starts with understanding how your thoughts influence your reality. The first step in mastering your mindset is recognizing that you control your thoughts, not the other way around. Often we allow our minds to run on autopilot, letting negative thoughts, fears, and doubts dominate our thinking. These thoughts fuel stress, causing us to feel overwhelmed and anxious. Over time, they can also give rise to excuses that prevent us from taking action. For example, if you consistently think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed," those thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies. They create a mental barrier that keeps you stuck in a cycle of stress and inaction. However, when you take control of your thoughts and actively choose empowering, positive ones, you start to shift your entire mindset. This shift reduces stress because you are no longer dwelling on what could go wrong. Instead, you are focusing on solutions and possibilities. A mindset focused on solutions rather than problems is a mindset that naturally experiences less stress. Many people fall into the trap of fixating on their problems, replaying negative scenarios in their minds over and over again. This focus on the problem magnifies it, making it seem larger and more daunting than it really is. The more you focus on what's wrong, the more stress you create for yourself. Mastering your mindset means training your brain to look for solutions instead of dwelling on obstacles. It's about asking the right questions, such as, "How can I solve this?" or "What's the next step I can take to move forward?" When you shift your focus from the problem to the solution, you empower yourself to take action. And that action is what reduces stress and removes the excuses for why you can't succeed. Another key element of mastering your mindset is developing emotional intelligence. Stress often comes from emotional reactions to external events. When something unexpected or challenging happens, it's easy to react emotionally, whether that's through anger, frustration, fear, or anxiety. These emotional reactions amplify stress and cloud your judgment, making it harder to think clearly and find solutions. Mastering your mindset involves becoming aware of your emotions and learning how to manage them. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, it means acknowledging them without letting them control your actions. When you develop emotional intelligence, you are better equipped to handle stressful situations because you can respond calmly and rationally instead of reacting impulsively. This ability to stay centered, even in the face of adversity, is a hallmark of a mastered mindset. Self-talk is another critical component of mindset mastery. The way you speak to yourself has a profound impact on how you perceive challenges and your ability to overcome them. If your inner dialogue is filled with negativity, doubt, and fear, you are programming yourself to experience stress and failure. Phrases like "I can't," "this is too hard," or "I'm not smart enough" are toxic and lead directly to a mindset that thrives on excuses. To master your mindset, you need to replace negative self-talk with positive, affirming statements. For example, instead of saying, "I'll never be able to do this," say, "I'll figure this out one step at a time." Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," remind yourself, "I'm constantly growing and improving." Positive self-talk reinforces a mindset of resilience and confidence, reducing stress and leaving no room for excuses. Another aspect of mindset mastery is the ability to reframe challenges. Life is full of difficulties, and how you interpret these challenges determines whether they cause stress or become opportunities for growth. People with a fixed mindset see challenges as threats to their competence or self-worth, which creates stress and fosters a tendency to make excuses. For instance, someone with a fixed mindset might avoid trying new things out of fear of failure, using excuses like, "I'm just not good at this," or "I don't have the right skills." In contrast, those with a growth mindset view challenges as chances to learn and improve. They see failure not as a reflection of their ability, but as a stepping stone to success. Mastering your mindset means adopting this growth-oriented perspective, where every setback is seen as a valuable lesson and every challenge is an opportunity to expand your capabilities. This shift in thinking alleviates stress because you no longer fear failure, you embrace it as part of the process. Gratitude is another powerful tool in mastering your mindset. Stress often comes from focusing on what's lacking or what's going wrong in your life. When you focus on scarcity or problems, your mind is in a constant state of tension and anxiety. However, when you practice gratitude, focusing on the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small, you train your brain to see abundance and possibility. Gratitude shifts your perspective from what's missing to what's already working in your favor. This simple shift in focus can dramatically reduce stress and stop excuses from creeping in. When you approach life with gratitude, you are more likely to take positive action because you are operating from a place of abundance, not fear or lack. Mastering your mindset requires consistency and practice. Just like physical fitness, mental fitness requires daily effort. You can't expect to master your mindset overnight. It takes time to rewire your brain and develop new thought patterns. The more you practice positive thinking, emotional regulation, and solution-focused problem solving, the stronger your mindset will become. Consistency is key. You must make a conscious effort every day to choose empowering thoughts, to challenge negative beliefs, and to focus on solutions rather than problems. Over time, these practices will become habits, and stress will have less and less of a hold on you. Mastering your mindset is a transformative process that directly reduces stress and eliminates excuses. It requires you to take control of your thoughts, develop emotional intelligence, engage in positive self-talk, reframe challenges, practice gratitude, and remain consistent in your efforts. When you master your mindset, you gain the ability to face life's challenges with confidence, resilience, and clarity, paving the way for a life free of stress and excuses. Taking responsibility for your life is one of the most liberating yet challenging principles to embrace. It is a mindset shift that not only frees you from stress, but also removes the temptation to make excuses. Responsibility means understanding that you are in control of your actions, your decisions, and ultimately the outcomes of your life. Many people shy away from responsibility because it requires them to confront uncomfortable truths about their choices and behaviors. However, without accepting full responsibility for your life, stress will persist and excuses will continue to hold you back from reaching your true potential. The first step in embracing responsibility is realizing that your life is a product of your choices, not your circumstances. Many people fall into the trap of blaming external factors, whether it's their upbringing, their financial situation, or other people for the challenges they face. While it's true that circumstances can influence the direction of your life, they do not determine your destiny. The key to responsibility is recognizing that no matter what happens to you, you always have the power to choose how you respond. This is a critical distinction because your response to a situation is what shapes your future. Blaming circumstances for your problems creates stress and frustration because it puts control outside of your hands. When you take responsibility, however, you shift that control back to yourself, giving you the power to change your life. Responsibility is often associated with accountability, and this is where many people struggle. It's uncomfortable to admit when we've made mistakes or poor choices. Instead, it's easier to make excuses to rationalize why things didn't go as planned. Excuses are essentially a way of avoiding responsibility. They allow us to deflect blame and shield ourselves from the discomfort of failure or shortcomings. But here's the thing, making excuses might relieve immediate stress, but it creates long-term consequences. When you make excuses, you are essentially giving away your power to change your circumstances. You become passive, reactive, and dependent on external forces to dictate your success or failure. Taking responsibility, on the other hand, empowers you to take proactive steps toward improvement. Self-reflection plays a crucial role in accepting responsibility. It requires you to take an honest look at your life and identify the areas where you have avoided taking ownership. This might involve acknowledging patterns of procrastination, blaming others for your struggles, or avoiding difficult decisions. Self-reflection can be uncomfortable, but it is a necessary step in the journey toward responsibility. Without it, you remain blind to the ways in which you may be contributing to your own stress and obstacles. When you engage in self-reflection with an open mind and a willingness to grow, you gain insight into your behaviors and thought patterns. This awareness allows you to take corrective action, reduce stress, and eliminate excuses from your life. Embracing responsibility also involves taking ownership of your emotional responses. Stress often stems from negative emotions, anger, fear, frustration, or anxiety that arise when things don't go our way. Many people react to these emotions by blaming others or external events for how they feel. They might say things like, "He made me so angry," or "This situation is stressing me out." These statements suggest that other people or events have control over their emotions, which only intensifies the feeling of helplessness and stress. However, when you take responsibility for your emotions, you recognize that no one can make you feel a certain way. You are in control of how you interpret and react to situations. This shift in perspective dramatically reduces stress because you are no longer at the mercy of external factors. Instead, you are empowered to manage your emotions and respond to life with clarity and composure. One of the most significant aspects of responsibility is the commitment to self-improvement. When you take responsibility for your life, you accept that you are not perfect and that there is always room to grow. This mindset eliminates the need for excuses because you no longer feel the need to justify your shortcomings. Instead, you view them as opportunities for growth. Stress often arises when we feel inadequate or unprepared to face challenges. But when you take responsibility, you understand that it is within your power to improve your skills, knowledge, and abilities. You are not a victim of your circumstances, you are an active participant in your development. This proactive approach alleviates stress and motivates you to seek solutions rather than make excuses for why something didn't work out. Responsibility also extends to your relationships and interactions with others. Many conflicts and stresses in life come from misunderstandings, disagreements, or unmet expectations in relationships. It's easy to blame the other person for the breakdown of communication or for not meeting your needs. However, taking responsibility in your relationships means acknowledging your role in the dynamic. It involves asking yourself tough questions like, how have I contributed to this situation, or what can I do to improve this relationship? When you stop blaming others and start taking responsibility for your part, you shift the focus from the problem to the solution. This shift not only reduces stress in relationships, but also fosters a healthier, more productive way of interacting with others. Another important aspect of taking responsibility is recognizing that you are responsible for your own happiness and success. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that happiness is something that happens to them that is dependent on external circumstances, other people's approval, or material success. This belief creates stress because it places your well-being in the hands of factors you cannot control. Taking responsibility for your happiness means understanding that it is an inside job. You are responsible for creating a life that brings you joy, fulfillment, and purpose. This means setting goals, pursuing your passions, and aligning your life with your values. When you take ownership of your happiness, you free yourself from the stress of waiting for external validation or circumstances to make you feel good about your life. Responsibility requires resilience. Life is full of setbacks, challenges, and disappointments. It's easy to fall into the trap of making excuses when things don't go as planned, blaming external factors for why you didn't succeed. However, responsibility means understanding that setbacks are a natural part of the journey and that they are not reasons to give up or make excuses. Instead, they are opportunities to learn, adapt, and keep moving forward. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenges with a positive attitude and a determination to keep striving toward your goals. When you take responsibility for your life, you develop this resilience, which not only reduces stress but also eliminates the excuses that often accompany failure. In essence, responsibility is about taking ownership of every aspect of your life, your choices, your actions, your emotions, your relationships, and your success. When you embrace responsibility, stress diminishes because you are no longer a passive victim of circumstances. You are an active creator of your destiny. Excuses fade away because you no longer need to justify why you haven't achieved your goals. Instead, you are empowered to take action, grow, and continuously move toward the life you desire. Excuses are one of the greatest barriers to personal growth and success. They are deceptive because they often sound reasonable, but in reality, they are a way of avoiding responsibility and action. When you make excuses, you're not just delaying progress, you're actively draining your potential. Every excuse you make is a missed opportunity to rise to the challenge, learn from your mistakes, or push yourself beyond your perceived limits. Over time, excuses become a habit, and that habit creates a cycle of mediocrity, self-doubt, and unfulfilled potential. Excuses are, at their core, a way of deflecting discomfort. Growth, change, and achievement require effort, discipline, and sometimes confronting uncomfortable truths about ourselves. When faced with a difficult task or the possibility of failure, many people default to excuses as a way of protecting themselves from that discomfort. They might say, "I don't have enough time, I'm not ready," or "I don't have the resources." These statements might sound legitimate, but they are often just convenient ways to avoid the hard work required for growth. By accepting these excuses, you shield yourself from the short-term discomfort, but you sacrifice long-term potential. Instead of facing challenges head-on, you retreat into a comfort zone where nothing changes and your potential remains untapped. One of the most dangerous aspects of making excuses is that it limits your ability to see beyond your current situation. When you allow excuses to dominate your mindset, you condition yourself to believe that external factors control your life. This mentality restricts your vision because you're constantly focused on what you don't have, what's missing, or why something can't be done. It narrows your ability to think creatively or seek solutions because you're trapped in a mindset of limitation. People who constantly make excuses rarely look for ways to overcome obstacles. Instead, they focus on why those obstacles are insurmountable. This is a significant drain on potential because it prevents you from exploring new possibilities, stretching your abilities, and discovering new paths to success. Excuses also have a profound impact on your self-confidence and self-worth. Every time you make an excuse, you're telling yourself that you're not capable of handling the challenge in front of you. You're reinforcing a belief that you are inadequate, unprepared, or destined to fail. Over time, this erodes your self-confidence and limits your belief in what you can achieve. People who constantly make excuses start to see themselves as victims of circumstance rather than as individuals capable of changing the situation.
This self-defeating mindset prevents you from taking bold steps toward your goals because you've already convinced yourself that success is out of reach.
Instead of building confidence to action, you remain stuck in a loop of doubt and inaction, draining your potential with every excuse you make. Another way excuses drain potential is by fostering a sense of complacency. When you become comfortable making excuses, it becomes easier to accept mediocrity. Instead of striving for excellence or pushing yourself to improve, you settle for less because you've rationalized why you can't achieve more. This complacency is dangerous because it robs you of the drive and ambition needed to unlock your full potential. People who are complacent are often satisfied with doing just enough to get by, rather than aiming for greatness. They become comfortable with their current level of achievement, even if it's far below what they are capable of. This lack of motivation to grow and improve is one of the biggest drains on potential, because it keeps you from ever realizing what you could truly accomplish. Excuses also disrupt momentum. Progress and achievement are often the result of consistent, focused effort over time. When you start making excuses, you disrupt that flow of effort and slow down your momentum. For example, let's say you've been working toward a goal, whether it's getting fit, advancing your career, or learning a new skill. At some point, things get challenging and you start making excuses to skip a workout, procrastinate on a project, or avoid putting in the extra effort. Every time you make an excuse, you lose momentum. The more excuses you make, the harder it becomes to regain that focus and get back on track. This interruption in momentum drains your potential because it prevents you from building on your progress. Instead of moving forward steadily, you're constantly starting and stopping, making it difficult to achieve meaningful results. One of the less obvious but equally damaging effects of excuses is the toll they take on your reputation and relationships. When you make excuses, people around you start to notice. Whether it's in your personal life, your career, or your community, people value reliability and accountability. When you consistently make excuses, you send a message to others that you can't be relied upon to follow through on your commitments. This can harm your reputation and limit opportunities for growth. In a professional setting, for example, someone who consistently makes excuses is less likely to be trusted with important tasks or leadership roles. In personal relationships, excuses can erode trust and lead to frustration or disappointment. This is a drain on potential because relationships and reputation often play a crucial role in your success. When people don't trust you to deliver, you lose opportunities for collaboration, advancement, and support. Excuses are also a form of self-sabotage. They prevent you from taking risks and stepping outside of your comfort zone. People often make excuses because they are afraid of failure or the unknown. They might say, "I'm not ready," or "I'll do it when the time is right." It's a way of postponing action. But the truth is, there is rarely a perfect time to pursue a goal or take a risk. If you wait for ideal conditions, you may never take action. Excuses provide a false sense of security because they allow you to avoid the risk of failure, but in doing so, they also prevent you from experiencing success. This self-sabotage is one of the most significant drains on potential because it keeps you from ever trying. The fear of failure disguised as excuses ensures that you remain stuck, unable to grow or achieve your dreams. Excuses drain potential by creating a victim mentality. When you consistently blame external factors for your lack of success, whether it's lack of time, resources, or support, you start to see yourself as a victim of circumstance. This mindset is incredibly disempowering because it removes your sense of control over your life. Instead of taking responsibility for your actions and decisions, you shift the blame to outside forces. This prevents you from recognizing the power you have to change your situation and unlock your potential. People with a victim mentality are often passive, waiting for things to happen to them rather than taking action to create the life they want. This passivity is a significant drain on potential because it keeps you stuck in a cycle of inaction, excuses, and missed opportunities. Shifting from making excuses to taking ownership of your actions, decisions, and circumstances is a transformative step in realizing your full potential. It marks a transition from a passive mindset, where external factors control your life, to an active mindset, where you reclaim control over your future. This shift is not always easy, but it is necessary for personal growth, success, and fulfillment. By taking ownership, you empower yourself to overcome obstacles, learn from your mistakes, and actively shape your destiny. The first step in this transformation is recognizing and acknowledging the excuses you've been making. Many people don't realize how often they rely on excuses to avoid discomfort, failure, or responsibility. It's easy to rationalize behavior with thoughts like, "I didn't have enough time," or "I wasn't given the right resources," but these excuses are a way of deflecting responsibility, and they prevent you from confronting the real issues. When you make excuses, you avoid looking at the choices and actions that led to your current situation. The key to shifting away from excuses is self-awareness. You must take a hard look at the excuses you've been making and acknowledge them for what they are: barriers to growth. This process requires honesty and humility, but it is the first step in taking ownership of your life. Once you've recognized your excuses, the next step is to challenge the beliefs and mindsets that support them. Excuses are often rooted in limiting beliefs about what you can or cannot do. For example, someone might make the excuse, "I don't have the talent for that," when in reality, they haven't put in the effort to develop the necessary skills. These limiting beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you believe you're incapable of achieving something, you won't put in the effort required to make it happen, and as a result, you will never achieve it. To break free from excuses, you need to challenge these beliefs. Ask yourself, is this really true, or am I just afraid of trying? By questioning your limiting beliefs, you begin to dismantle the mental barriers that have been holding you back and replace them with empowering beliefs that support growth and achievement. Taking ownership also means accepting responsibility for your actions and their consequences, both positive and negative. When things go wrong, it's easy to blame external factors: your boss, your circumstances, or bad luck. But the truth is, you have more control over your life than you realize. While you may not be able to control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond to it. People who take ownership don't waste time blaming others or dwelling on circumstances beyond their control. Instead, they focus on what they can do to improve the situation. They ask themselves, what could I have done differently? How can I learn from this experience? By taking responsibility for your actions, you empower yourself to learn from your mistakes and make better choices in the future. Shifting from excuses to ownership also requires a willingness to embrace discomfort and uncertainty. Growth and success are rarely easy. They require hard work, discipline, and often stepping outside of your comfort zone. When you make excuses, you're avoiding discomfort. You're choosing the path of least resistance, which might feel easier in the short term, but ultimately prevents you from growing. Taking ownership means embracing the discomfort that comes with trying new things, taking risks, and facing challenges head on. It means being willing to fail and learn from that failure, rather than making excuses to avoid it. This mindset shift is crucial because it allows you to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and learning. The more you step into discomfort and uncertainty, the more you expand your capabilities and realize your potential. Another important aspect of taking ownership is developing a proactive mindset. When you make excuses, you're in a reactive state, responding to circumstances after the fact and often feeling powerless. Ownership, on the other hand, is about being proactive. It's about anticipating challenges, planning for success, and taking action before problems arise. People who take ownership don't wait for opportunities to come to them. They create opportunities. They don't wait for the perfect conditions to pursue their goals. They take action, even when the conditions are less than ideal. This proactive mindset is essential for success because it puts you in control of your life. Instead of waiting for things to happen to you, you make things happen. This shift from being reactive to proactive is one of the most empowering aspects of taking ownership, and it unlocks tremendous potential. Taking ownership also means committing to personal accountability. It's easy to make commitments or set goals, but without accountability, those commitments often fall by the wayside. Excuses thrive in the absence of accountability. When no one is holding you accountable, it's easy to let yourself off the hook and make excuses for why you didn't follow through. But when you take ownership, you hold yourself accountable for your actions and progress. This might mean setting up systems of accountability, such as tracking your progress, sharing your goals with others, or regularly reviewing your performance. It might also mean surrounding yourself with people who will hold you to a higher standard and challenge you to stay on track. Personal accountability is a powerful tool because it ensures that you stay committed to your goals and take consistent action toward them, even when the going gets tough. Taking ownership requires a long-term perspective. Excuses are often the result of short-term thinking, seeking immediate comfort or avoiding immediate discomfort. But success, growth, and fulfillment come from thinking long-term. People who take ownership understand that the path to success is not always easy or immediate, they are willing to put in the hard work now, even if the rewards won't come for months or years. This long-term perspective allows them to stay focused on their goals, even when faced with setbacks or challenges. Instead of making excuses to avoid the hard work, they stay committed to their vision and continue taking action, knowing that their efforts will pay off in the long run. This long-term thinking is crucial for realizing your potential because it keeps you moving forward even when progress seems slow or difficult. Shifting from excuses to ownership is about taking control of your life and your future. It requires self-awareness, a willingness to challenge limiting beliefs, and a commitment to personal accountability. It means embracing discomfort, developing a proactive mindset, and adopting a long-term perspective. By taking ownership of your actions, decisions, and circumstances, you empower yourself to overcome obstacles, achieve your goals, and unlock your full potential. This shift is not always easy, but it is the key to transforming your life and moving from mediocrity to greatness. A resilient mindset is one of the most powerful tools you can cultivate for navigating life's challenges, setbacks, and pressures. It is the key to persevering through difficulties, bouncing back from failures, and continuing to move forward, even when circumstances seem overwhelming. Resilience doesn't mean you won't face adversity or experience pain. It means that when you do, you have the inner strength to endure and overcome it. Developing resilience is essential in a world full of uncertainty, where change is constant and challenges are inevitable. The first element of a resilient mindset is embracing adversity as a natural part of life. Many people try to avoid difficulties, thinking that a smooth, comfortable life is the ideal. However, avoiding challenges doesn't build strength, it actually makes you more fragile. Resilience comes from facing adversity head-on and learning how to cope with it. It is through struggle that you grow stronger, just like muscles grow through resistance training. When you encounter difficult situations, instead of retreating or feeling defeated, you can view them as opportunities to grow and learn. By changing your perspective on adversity, you develop a mindset that sees obstacles not as barriers, but as stepping stones to success. This shift in perspective is crucial for resilience because it allows you to stay motivated and focused even in the face of hardship. Another key aspect of cultivating a resilient mindset is developing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is your ability to understand, manage, and navigate your emotions, especially in challenging situations. People with high emotional intelligence are better equipped to handle stress because they are aware of their emotional responses and can regulate them effectively. When you face setbacks, it's natural to feel emotions like frustration, disappointment, or even anger. But if you allow these emotions to overwhelm you, they can cloud your judgment and prevent you from thinking clearly. A resilient mindset means being able to acknowledge your emotions without being controlled by them. It's about pausing, reflecting, and responding in a way that aligns with your long-term goals rather than reacting impulsively based on how you feel in the moment. This emotional regulation is crucial for resilience because it helps you stay calm and focused under pressure, allowing you to make better decisions and take constructive action. Resilience also involves maintaining a strong sense of purpose and vision. When you have a clear purpose and a compelling vision for your life, it becomes easier to persevere through challenges. Your purpose acts as a guiding light, reminding you why you're doing what you're doing, even when the journey gets tough. Without a strong sense of purpose, it's easy to become discouraged when things don't go as planned. But when you're driven by something greater than your immediate circumstances, you're more likely to stay committed and push through adversity. A resilient mindset keeps your focus on the bigger picture, helping you stay grounded in your long-term vision rather than getting distracted or disheartened by temporary setbacks. By keeping your purpose at the forefront of your mind, you fuel the resilience needed to keep moving forward, even when the road is rough. An important part of resilience is also learning from failure. Failure is often seen as a negative outcome, something to be avoided at all costs. But the truth is, failure is an inevitable part of any worthwhile journey. No one succeeds without encountering failure along the way. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is how they respond to failure. A resilient mindset views failure not as a final verdict, but as a valuable learning experience. When you fail, instead of dwelling on the disappointment or allowing it to define you, resilience allows you to analyze what went wrong, extract the lessons, and apply them moving forward. This approach turns failure into a tool for growth rather than a reason to quit. By embracing failure as part of the process, you develop the resilience to keep trying, adjusting, and improving until you reach your goals. Maintaining optimism and hope is crucial for resilience. A resilient mindset is rooted in the belief that no matter how difficult things get, there is always a way forward. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is fine when it isn't. Rather, it means holding on to the belief that challenges are temporary and that solutions exist, even if they aren't immediately apparent. Optimism fuels resilience because it gives you the motivation to keep going, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It helps you maintain a positive outlook, which is essential for problem solving and creativity. People who are optimistic tend to be more resourceful and persistent because they believe that their efforts will eventually pay off. This mindset is crucial for resilience because it allows you to stay hopeful and proactive, even in the face of significant challenges. Another essential element of resilience is cultivating adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much you plan, things will not always go according to your expectations. A resilient mindset is flexible and adaptable, allowing you to adjust to changing circumstances without losing your focus or determination. People who are rigid in their thinking and resistant to change are more likely to feel stressed and overwhelmed when things don't go as planned. But those who are adaptable can pivot, find new solutions, and continue moving forward, even when the path ahead shifts unexpectedly. Adaptability is about being open to new information, new strategies, and new ways of thinking. It's about being willing to change course when necessary, while still staying true to your ultimate goals. This flexibility is a key component of resilience because it allows you to navigate uncertainty and change with grace and confidence. And cultivating a resilient mindset requires building a strong support system. Resilience is not something you have to cultivate alone. In fact, the most resilient people are often those who have a strong network of support, friends, family, mentors, or colleagues who provide encouragement, guidance, and perspective during tough times. Having people you can rely on when you're feeling discouraged or overwhelmed can make a significant difference in your ability to persevere. They can offer a fresh perspective, remind you of your strengths, and help you stay focused on your goals. A resilient mindset recognizes the value of community and understands that seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but a strategic way to stay strong. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people enhances your resilience by giving you the emotional and mental resources to keep going when the going gets tough. In essence, cultivating a resilient mindset is about developing the inner strength to face challenges, learn from failure, stay adaptable, and maintain hope in the face of adversity. It requires emotional intelligence, a sense of purpose, optimism, adaptability, and the support of others. These elements work together to help you navigate life's ups and downs with grace, confidence, and determination. By building resilience, you not only increase your ability to handle stress and setbacks, but you also set yourself up for long-term success and fulfillment. The journey towards living a life free from stress and excuses is not only about external circumstances, but more importantly, about cultivating an empowered mindset within ourselves. By embracing responsibility for our lives, overcoming our fears, eliminating self-limiting beliefs, fostering a culture of accountability, and nurturing resilience, we equip ourselves with the tools necessary to transform challenges into opportunities. Each of us has the potential to rewrite our narratives, to rise above the noise of everyday distractions, and to take charge of our destinies. When we adopt this proactive stance, we find that the pressures that once felt overwhelming become manageable. And the path may not always be easy, but by implementing these key principles, we can create a life defined not by stress or excuses, but by purpose, passion, and perseverance. Let us strive to be individuals who recognize the power of our choices, who cultivate the resilience to weather any storm, and who inspire others to do the same. Together, we can build a community that thrives on growth, empowerment, and the relentless pursuit of our goals. Embrace this journey and watch how your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Thank you.